Did you know that perfectionism might be the very thing sabotaging your success? Have you ever found yourself endlessly tweaking, planning, or waiting for the perfect moment only to realize that moment never comes? You are not alone. Many brilliant, talented people are caught in that loop of waiting, striving for a perfection that only exists in their minds, while their true potential remains hidden. We are often led to believe that if we just get everything perfect, we will finally be ready to take action, to put ourselves out there. But here is the reality. Perfectionism isn't about careful planning or thoughtful preparation. It's a mindset that traps us in self-doubt, stopping us from ever truly beginning. Now, don't get me wrong, there is a version of perfectionism that can serve us, where we prepare thoughtfully, take calculated risks, and act with intention. That's wisdom. But today, we are talking about a different kind. The kind that paralyzes us. It's the kind that keeps us endlessly delaying, waiting until everything is just right before we feel ready. The problem is, that moment of perfect rarely comes. In this video, I want to help you shift your perception of perfectionism from something that limits you, holds you back, and keeps you striving, to something that expands your potential, fuels your growth, and allows you to thrive. Imagine using perfectionism not as a barrier, but as a motivator to keep learning, experimenting, and evolving, without the fear of not being enough holding you hostage. For so long, I too was trapped by the idea of needing to be perfect. It held me back from so many things, whether it was a project in school, a new job role, a business idea, or even simply posting a video. There was always this voice in my head whispering, "You are not ready, it's not good enough." And the worst part, I started to feel like an imposter, constantly questioning myself, wondering if I even deserved to share my thoughts or ideas. I remember a specific time at university when I had to push through. I had a major project to present to a jury and didn't have the luxury of avoiding it. Perfectionism was overwhelming me. I wanted every detail flawless, every argument airtight. But time was running out, so I had to prioritize. I prepared as best as I could, focused on the essentials, and braced for whatever feedback came my way. And you know what? I went surprisingly well. That experience taught me that while perfectionism can push me to prepare, it also holds me back from actually starting. I realized that my fear of not being perfect had been keeping me from showing up, from putting my ideas out there. And in truth, I was more capable than I would ever given myself credit for. Perfectionism tends to show up most strongly when we are doing something new, launching a project, sharing an idea, stepping into a role for the first time. There is often skepticism, even fear about how we will be judged or perceived. But here is the empowering part. You always have a choice. You can either face it with courage and grow through the experience, or let the fear of imperfection hold you back. This isn't just my struggle, it's a battle many of us face. One that has kept countless people from sharing their gifts with the world. Imagine the musicians, artists, and writers we might never have known if they let perfectionism win. Take Ed Sheeran, for example. He has shared openly how he once struggled with the belief that his voice wasn't good enough. He was even told it was awful. But he didn't let that stop him. Instead, he practiced, performed, and found his unique style. Today, millions connect with his music. Or look at J.K. Rowling, who faced rejection after rejection before Harry Potter was published. If she had let perfectionism or the fear of failure hold her back, we wouldn't have the magical world that touched millions of lives. These stories remind us that perfection isn't what brings success. It's showing up, imperfections and all, that makes the difference. Perfectionism will always try to stop you, especially when you are about to step into something new or unknown. But you have the power to push through. It's not about being perfect. It's about taking action and trusting that you will learn and grow along the way. Perfectionism may feel like it's protecting you, but in reality, it's holding you back from sharing your true gifts. So whether you are an artist, a writer, a musician, or just someone with a dream, the world needs what you have to offer, flaws and all. Because as we've seen, it's often our imperfections that make our work unique, that touch people's hearts, and that allow us to thrive. What is perfectionism really? At first glance, the dictionary defines perfectionism as the refusal to accept any standard short of perfection. Simple enough, right? But here is where it gets tricky. What does perfect even mean? Perfectionism convinces us to set sky-high, often impossible standards. We imagine a flawless version of what we are trying to achieve, whether it's a project, a performance, or even the way we present ourselves to the world. And when that ideal is unattainable, we are left feeling incapable and stuck. Perfectionism doesn't just encourage high standards, it paralyzes us. We endlessly tweak, adjust, and prepare, telling ourselves it's not ready yet, or worse, I'm not ready yet. As a result, we delay, procrastinate, or never start at all. Chasing the illusion of perfection, we let our dreams remain just that, dreams, while our true potential stays hidden and untapped. This is the danger of perfectionism. It sets success at a height that feels unreachable, where every minor flaw feels like failure. But what if our idea of success itself needs rethinking? Many of us were taught that success is tied to specific outcomes, a job title, an income level, or a social standing. We often equate our self-worth with these outcomes. If I succeed, I'm valuable. If I fail, I'm not. But this couldn't be further from the truth. Earl Nightingale, a renowned thinker in personal development, offered a more meaningful definition. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Notice, he doesn't mention wealth, fame, or perfection. It's about the journey towards something meaningful, not a flawless outcome. True success isn't found in a final product, but in the process, in the pursuit of something that matters to us. Perfectionism, however, makes us obsess over that perfect end goal and convinces us that anything less is failure. In reality, success is in showing up, taking action, and learning along the way. Why are we so drawn to the idea of perfection? At its core, perfectionism is fueled by fear. Fear of judgment, failure, and ultimately, the fear of not being enough. We dread what others might think and the vulnerability of being seen as flawed. Yet, here is a profound truth. Perfection is a myth. Even those who seem to have it all together have stumbled countless times. The key difference, they don't let perfectionism dictate their actions. Instead, they take risks, embrace mistakes, and see failure as part of growth. When we let go of perfectionism's grip, we allow ourselves to explore, learn, and evolve. We stop waiting for the perfect moment and instead create our own momentum. Remember, success isn't about achieving flawless outcomes, but about the growth, insights, and strength we built along the way. How perfectionism holds us captive. Perfectionism isn't just a desire for high standards. It's a set of limiting beliefs that bend our self-worth and potential. These beliefs are stories we tell ourselves, often influenced by societal expectations about how we should be. Here is how perfectionism shows up in our lives. Procrastination. Perhaps the most common symptom, procrastination stems from fear that what we create wouldn't meet our impossible standards. We tell ourselves, I will do it when I have more time, but that perfect moment rarely arrives. Overthinking. Perfectionists often get trapped in a cycle of analyzing every detail, trying to anticipate every possible outcome. This results in decision paralysis, where the fear of making the wrong choice keeps us from making any choice at all. Black and white thinking. Many perfectionists view outcomes as either total success or complete failure. If something isn't perfect, it's seen as worthless, which blinds us to the growth that mistakes and setbacks offer. Catastrophizing. We anticipate the worst outcomes, fearing that one mistake will lead to total disaster. This fear of negative consequences keeps us from taking any meaningful risks. Overworking or never finishing. Perfectionists can become obsessed with endless revisions, feeling that nothing is ever done. This not only leads to burnouts, but also to unfinished projects and missed opportunities. Fear of feedback. Feedback becomes something to avoid at all costs, as we see any critique as a sign of inadequacy rather than a chance for improvement. Fear of failure. The anxiety around making mistakes can be paralyzing, leading us to avoid any path where failure is a possibility, even if it means stifling our dreams. Burnout. Ironically, the pursuit of perfection often exhausts us, draining the joy from the very things we once loved. Comparing ourselves to others. Perfectionists often fall into the trap of comparison, looking at others who seem to excel and thinking, why should I even try? This mindset only further paralyzes us and keeps us from starting. By recognizing these patterns, we can start to reframe perfectionism, not as a pursuit of high standards, but as a barrier to progress. Releasing the need for perfection doesn't mean settling. It means giving ourselves the freedom to learn, grow, and show up as we are. And it's in showing up, in taking imperfect steps forward, that we uncover our true potential. So, how does perfectionism keep us stuck? Perfectionism traps us in a relentless cycle of inaction. We often feel immense pressure to meet unrealistic standards, leading to procrastination or avoidance. When we do take action, it's typically accompanied by overthinking, self-doubt, and an overwhelming fear of failure. These feelings can quickly spiral into burnout or cause us to abandon our tasks altogether. Even when we manage to complete something, we rarely take time to celebrate our efforts. Instead, we fixate on what we could have done better. At its core, perfectionism is not about striving for excellence. It is driven by fear. Fear of not being enough, fear of failure, and fear of judgment from others. However, here is the truth. These fears are not facts. They are beliefs. They are narratives we tell ourselves, often shaped by irrational ideas about who we should be and what others expect from us. Perfectionism is more than a mere habit. It is rooted in deeply ingrained beliefs. It convinces us that we must be flawless to be worthy, that our value hinges on how perfectly we perform or meet external expectations. Yet, these beliefs are simply thoughts we've rehearsed so often that they feel like truths. Remember, a belief is merely a thought you keep thinking, a thought repeated until it becomes your reality. Take a moment to reflect. What meanings have you attached to success, failure, or the concept of being good enough? Often, these meanings stem from irrational ideas about how others perceive us. These beliefs dictate our actions and decisions, trapping us in a cycle of self-judgment where any step that isn't perfect feels terrifying. Now that we've explored how perfectionism sabotages us, let's delve into practical techniques and mindset shifts to break free from its grip. Number 1, embrace imperfection. Allow yourself to be human. Mistakes are not signs of failure, but essential steps in growth. Instead of fearing errors, welcome them as valuable opportunities for learning. By embracing imperfection, you create an environment where progress can thrive. Number 2, set realistic, achievable goals. Rather than striving for unattainable ideas, focus on setting realistic goals that challenge you but remain within reach. This approach emphasizes progress over perfection, allowing you to celebrate small victories along the way. Number 3, take committed, imperfect action. The key to breaking the perfectionism cycle is to take action, imperfect yet intentional. Success rarely arises from flawless beginnings. It comes from consistently showing up, making mistakes, and learning from them. Adopt the mindset of committed imperfect action, knowing that growth happens through experience, not perfection. Number 4, focus on progress, not perfection. Waiting for the perfect moment or outcome often leads to stagnation. Instead, prioritize progress. Take consistent small steps, learn, and adjust as you go. Progress is the true measure of success, not perfection. Number 5, challenge limiting beliefs. Perfectionism thrives on limiting beliefs about our worth and capabilities. When perfectionist thoughts arise, ask yourself, is this thought true? What evidence supports it? Shifting your focus from unattainable ideals to tangible progress dismantles these self-imposed barriers and paves the way for growth. Number 6, practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself when things don't go as planned. Recognize that doing your best is enough. Self-compassion nurtures a healthier inner dialogue, allowing you to navigate challenges without harsh self-judgment. When you extend grace to yourself, you create space for resilience and personal growth. Number 7. Reframe failure as feedback. Instead of viewing failure as the opposite of success, see it as part of the journey. Every misstep provides valuable feedback and insights, guiding you toward improvement. Successful individuals aren't those who avoid failure. They are the ones who learn and grow from it. So ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Number 8. Celebrate small wins. Recognizing and celebrating your achievements, no matter how small, builds confidence and reinforces the idea that the journey is just as important as the destination. Small wins accumulate into significant progress. Number 9. Let go of others' expectations. Perfectionism often stems from a fear of judgment. We worry about what others will think if we don't measure up. The truth is, you cannot please everyone. The more you focus on external validation, the further you drift from your authentic self. True freedom comes from releasing others' expectations and embracing what feels right for you. Number 10. Authenticity over perfection. People are drawn to authenticity, not perfection. Would you prefer to follow someone who presents a flawless image or someone who has faced imperfections and emerged stronger? When you prioritize self-compassion over external validation, your authenticity shines through. Feedback becomes just an opinion, not a measure of your worth. Success isn't perfection, it's progress. Perfectionism is deeply rooted in fear. The fear of not being enough, of being judged, of failure. But when you shift your mindset, you will discover that true success lies not in flawless execution, but in committed, imperfect action. As Earl Nightingale wisely said, success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. It's not about reaching a perfect state. It's about continuously striving towards something meaningful, growing along the way, and allowing yourself to evolve. Start before you are ready. Take the step, no matter how small or imperfect it may seem. You might be surprised of how far you can go when you release the need for perfection and instead focus on progress, learning, and growth. As we conclude our discussion on perfectionism, remember this. Embrace your unique talents, imperfections and all. Each of us carries a spark that is inherently ours, a blend of experiences, thoughts, and emotions that shape who we are. Your imperfections are not barriers. They are the very threads that make you unique, authentic, and relatable. So I encourage you to take action. Don't hold back your gifts from the world. Share your insights, your art, your voice, your stories. The world needs what you have to offer, even if you feel it's not perfect yet. It's in the authenticity of your journey, your struggles and triumphs, that others will find inspiration. Now I invite you to reflect and share. What is one thing you are ready to start despite your imperfections? Leave a comment below. Your thoughts could inspire someone else to break free from their own perfectionist tendencies. And don't forget to check out my video, Did You Know Fear of Failure is Just a Thought?, where we dive into the nature of fear and how it can distort our perception of failure. You will discover that fear isn't your enemy. It's a misguided protector that can be transformed into a powerful ally on your journey to success. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe for more content on personal growth and emotional awareness. Your support helps me spread these messages to more people who need to hear them. Thank you for your time and attention. I am grateful for each of you on this journey toward embracing imperfections and unlocking our true potential. See you in the next video. Much love.